Hey guys, what I'm gonna be doing today is I'm gonna work on this Suzuki. This is my friend's car, and it has a problem. Usually, lately, I haven't been working on different cars other than mine because I don't have the time and I prefer not to. But today I'm gonna make an exception. Maybe a few exceptions in the recent future, but this is going to be one of them. What the problem with this car is the front right bearing, I think. It has this clicking noise and the car barely moves. I don't know if you noticed when I took the car in, but I was very, very gentle with the car, because if you press the throttle pedal just a little bit and this wheel, I think it is this wheel, locks and the car just stops. And obviously this it doesn't have to happen. And what I think I discovered that the problem is with this little bearing over here. I've bought a new one, and today this is gonna be the main job for me. Well, when I start to disassemble, I will just show you really quick what I'm gonna be doing, and we'll see if this is the only problem with the car, but I'm truly hoping that this is gonna be the case. So enjoy, and I will start working. Okay, apparently this is gonna be a difficult job because I've just discovered that everything is covered with rust, and I don't think this is gonna come out easy, and I'm gonna have to fight with every nut there is mounted on this wheel. I will show you just in a moment. As you can see, I disassembled the tire, but I will have to mount it back on, because this first step is to let me get to that nut over there. So as I was saying, I'll show you as the best as I could. I don't know how to position this light for you to see. Maybe this is gonna be better. As you can see, everything is covered with dust, with not only dust but rust, I mean. And this is something that is very, very bad in this situation. But for now, the first thing I want to do before completely disassemble the car is this nut over here. Let me just leave this light. This nut over here, as you can see, it's fixed. I have to unlock it and put the tire back on. That will allow me to untighten this, because it is very, very strongly tightened. So after I loosen this up, I will have to disassemble these two bolts over here, this over here. Let me just, I will have to remove the brake pads holder, and let me just show you the bottom side on the other side, what is gonna have to come off the car as well. Okay, now I'm under the car, so what I have to do is I have to unscrew this nut over here so I can take this out, and this will be the final touch, so I'm gonna be able to completely remove this part of the car, and the bearing is inside this. So once this is on the ground, I will just try to get the bearing out of there and put the new in its place, and we'll see if this is gonna fix the problem with this car, and if not, I'm gonna have to continue searching for the problem and eventually solve it. So let me just get back to work. As you can see, this car has more than one problems. This over here is ripped. I don't know if it's gonna hold much longer, but this is something completely different and is gonna be for some other time. So for now I'm gonna focus on the bearing, and wish me luck. Okay, this was surprisingly easy. Usually you have to put so much work into untightening this nut, but I was, as I mentioned, very surprised in a good way. So I'm gonna remove the tire back. Hope this is gonna be the final time I'm gonna do this, and continue disassembling the other parts of the car that I need to remove. Well, I had another nice surprise. This part came off way too easily, as you can see. The nut has quite a bit of rust. The thread is almost not visible, but even it has so much rust on it, it came rather easily. Usually I have to weld to heat this up and try to the air gun or something like that, so the power gun to disassemble this part. The problem that I'm having now is that I can't get the lock pin out of its place, so I'm gonna have to get creative now and figure out a way to remove it without breaking anything in my way. Apparently I'm gonna need a little bit bigger hammer for this operation, so let's try with this. Okay, so I'm sorry you couldn't see the final disassembly of this part. As you can see, it's already off, but my camera made some kind of weird mistake regarding to my memory, and I didn't notice that she was off. But it doesn't matter, you're gonna see these final things that I did in the assembling process. So this is the part that I wanted to just take off the car. Inside of it is the bearing. I don't know if you can hear when I rotate this thing, but it has this rumbling noise, which in my opinion means that the bearing is finished. So the next thing that I have to do is that I will have to take this part off first, and then the bearing itself, the bearing is over here, and I'm gonna have to take the bearing off afterwards. So let's proceed. It is finally out. This is some sort of bracket, but the rust was preventing her from coming out of place. But eventually I managed to take it off. So the only thing left for me at this point is to try to take the rest of the bearing out of the that metal part over the out, so I will try to do that as well. Once again I decided that it's gonna be better at this point if I check the new bearing, if it is the same, at least on the outside. Nice surprise, I have a replacement for the nut and this spring. This is the new bearing. I think it fits, so I will proceed now. And the final part is off. Here it is. It came out rather easy. This was one final good surprise on top of all the bad surprises that I had along the way. But now I'm gonna just clean this a bit over here, so everything, all the new parts are gonna fit nicely without any effort, and I will quickly assemble everything because the daylight is almost gone and I don't wanna have to work through the dark part of the day, so I'm gonna rush and do all of this work before that. So my workspace, my workbench, temporary workbench, is now taken by someone else, but what can I do? I will have to clean this part over here on the ground. This is my reality today, so it's gonna be a little bit tedious, but I have to go through this process, so here it is. I've cleaned this the best way that I could. I'm gonna oil it a bit so the new bearing is gonna slide easily into place, and I'll start assembling. I'm gonna use this piece of wood so I won't damage the bearing while I assemble it. I finally got that off. This is the inner ring of the bearing. one of them at least, and it was stuck off on this part over here, so it was in my way, and I was able to get this thing off without cutting it. This was the only other way. I had to make a slice over here, somewhere over here, but I preferred not to do that. So yeah, as you can see, this is successfully I managed to get this out successfully without cutting it, so this part is ready to be assembled as well. I think I'm finally done, and this sits where it needs to be, and as you can see now it turns rather smoothly, not like before, and there is no excess noise or something like that, so I'm ready to assemble this on the car. So what happened was that the thread of the second bolt over there ripped, and I have to get my grinding tool and cut this nut from there and replace the whole bolt. So the trouble comes when you least expect it. So this is what I was preparing myself for. It's a bit late and I'm a bit tired already, and I really didn't want to get to this point, but what can I do? I will have to fix this now. I took it off. I don't know, it's a bit dark already. I don't know if you can see this thing, but in the very beginning I noticed that the head on this one is 18 millimeters, while the head of the second one is 19 millimeters, and I was wondering, I honestly knew that something was going on, because apparently at some point whoever did the previous maintenance on this car had the same problem as me and was forced to replace it. Now it's the time for the second one to go, and I'll go try to find some new bolt for this and continue with the assembly. So here is the replacement bolt. I'm gonna just put it on place and I will finish with this job. So to recap everything that I've done, I've put everything back into place. I've tightened everything, I've checked it. I'm gonna show you really quick the central nut. So I've tightened this as much as I could, and I've even put the lock on the nut. I don't know if you can see it on this light, so it won't unscrew itself. And I'm gonna mount the tire back on, and I think this is gonna be all for this project. And just like that, this job is done. I think I've spent way too much time on this project, and I will stop with this video. I think this is just more than enough for today, so I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.